What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into the video, I need to let you guys know that if you're watching this on the Thursday that this episode goes live, tomorrow, Friday, February 23rd at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, the new BMW 700 Sport Coupe Ludwick's Garage t-shirt is going live. So keep an eye out. Make sure you set your reminders. 12 o'clock noon tomorrow, February 23rd, Eastern Standard Time. We're going live with these shirts. We're only doing 50 of them. Only 50, and they're being printed by my good friend Dustin Williams from Okie Doke Brand in-house. I've been working with my friend Rafe on this design, and I am so stoked on it. We're doing another vintage magazine style ad on this shirt, and we're going to be making some posters out of them as well. But on this first initial run of 50 t-shirts, if you are order number 7, kind of for 700, you're going to get the first poster for free with your order. So make sure to go to ludwicksgarage.com. The link is in the video's description below as well at noon, the 23rd on Friday, to get one of the 50 limited first edition BMW 700 t-shirts. We're kind of in between stuff on the 1960 Auto Union right now. We're waiting on parts. We're playing the waiting on parts game. And while we're doing that, I think we're going to try to breathe life into this Type 3 motor. Now, this is the motor that we picked up off Facebook Marketplace that seems to have been rebuilt. We're unsure if this thing's even been in a car since its rebuild. Very likely, but everything looks pretty fresh for a rebuild. So we think we've got all the elements here to get it running. I haven't pulled any plugs yet, but I've got some ignition stuff already here. We have a lot of drivetrain stuff ordered and on the way, but I think in this episode, we're gonna try to get this thing started. So I put a flywheel in it already, but I forgot that since we're going from 6 volt to 12 volt, since that crash box in this pan is 1959, and this motor is a 200 millimeter flywheel motor, we've got to use a bushing adapter on the starter. So I just went and got a brand new starter. This bushing here is supposed to be what you guys use. Oh yeah, that fits. Thank goodness. So my buddy Sam Bunker dropped off an old starter to use as a core for this one. And this bushing right here is basically what you need in a 6 volt transmission when you're running a 12 volt starter. And that's very common when a lot of guys just convert their Beetles, like the 64 here, from 6 volt to 12 volt overall electronic system. That is the correct size that we need there. So we got a brand new starter, but we got to pull the motor out to get to the inside of the bell housing to install the bushing. So first and foremost, we're going to get the body back up. We'll pull the motor out. Get excited. We're excited. I'm feeling a little anxious because I don't know the status of this thing. We haven't done a compression test or anything, but when we roll the thing over, you can hear compression in the motor. So I don't think we've got anything to worry about. We just haven't had it running yet. If you're new to the channel, Cliff Notes. It's a 1960 Auto Union 1000 SP. It's going on a Beetle pan. We're bagging and body dropping it, but I want it moving under its own power for Alpine Volks Fair in Helen, Georgia, which is 2 months. It's more than 2 months worth of work to do. We're kind of under the gun now because we don't have much time. So trying to make progress every step of the way. So while we're waiting on parts, we're going to try to get this thing running so we can head off any issues that there might be. I ordered J-pipes too. Mm-hmm. So hopefully those will be by the end of the week. Yep. Okay, so right here is where the nose of the starter essentially rides in. In here is actually where the original bushing still is. And you can see where I milled this casing out for the 200 millimeter flywheel, because normally these transmissions didn't come with a 200 mil flywheel. I had to mill this out by hand, and I did get up into this a little bit, as you would. Everyone who's done one of these swaps has to deal with that. But we're going to knock that bushing out. It goes in this way, so I don't know if it has to come out one way. Yeah. So we'll knock that out, and we'll get the new one in. We'll get the actual, the cavity where that starter goes cleaned up a little bit. It's old and crusty. New mounts are in, as you guys saw in the last episode. We're getting there. This is all, yeah.
Nice. Heck yeah.
I sprayed that down yesterday, but that's all freed up. So we've got throw up bearing and clutch and pressure plate and all that coming. That was sticking. You've pushed it forward, and it stayed there. I don't know if oxidize is the right word, but like that magnesium like coral reefs itself so easily, it seems like.
I can see it on the side.
You see it now? Yeah. Maybe like a socket just a little bit larger than that. That'll pass through there. We could use this like a punch. Oh, you got one?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yep, it's moving. Love it. Don't love this though. Wow.
Thin?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's real thin.
That's all right. It just holds the
nose cone of
the nose cone of the starter. There's not actually any torque on it.
You can see the ID of the old bushing. So the nose cone of the 6-volt starter is much larger than the 12-volt. So they both have the same OD because they both fit into the same port on the transmission. We'll clean that out and
look at that.
man.
This isn't a battery terminal cleaner. This is
Tool hack. It worked perfect.
and disclaimer.
Oh, look at that.
All this dust is flammable.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's in. Old bushing out. That's a quick, I guess, tutorial on how to change your 6-volt to 12-volt starter bushings. You can buy those almost anywhere. I've seen them for sale everywhere. We just so happened to get one from a friend. Bump up.
Up.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
When you don't have like a spline to line up or something.
"30-second engine swap."
Seriously. So the backside of this is where the bushing is. You can see right in there. That's what's going to receive the nose cone of the starter. We just tried to test fit it, and it didn't quite want to go in all the way, but we're thinking, I think it looks like it would have been sitting with the Titanic at the bottom of the sea. Oh yeah, that's better. We're in now. So now all we got to do is get a bolt long enough. I don't have an OEM starter bolt. We got to run to the hardware store to get a long bolt. This is where I need to talk to the boys at Bolts and Nuts. That'd be nice to have like a big bolts and nuts bin on the wall over here somewhere.
Yep.
And we could just walk over there and get the right size bolt we need and not go to Ace Hardware. You guys may have seen in the previous episode, the heater exchange tubes, ports, hit the axles. I've actually alleviated that axle angle. J-pipes have been ordered. So next episode that we're working on this in, we'll be doing J-pipes and clearing up all of this space here. We'll probably do boots on the axles, which I already have. We're gonna do an OEM dual carb Solex setup with the flat airbox. So height concerns on the trunk are no longer going to be an issue. So we're going to get rid of all this. But for today, we're going to try to get it running on this. Put some fuel to it, put some power to it. I'm getting excited. Yep. This is another Will It Run episode.
I know.
God, trying to get all this old junk to run.
That old junky Type 3 ran. This one better run.
Seriously. That other one sat near the ocean for 34 years.
Yep.
This is the first time I've had a 200 mil flywheel in this case since I clearanced it, mated to a motor. Corey's got a bar on this thing now, and you can hear it hitting material in there. But this right here is actually how the old school dudes would clearance one of these bell housings out. They would put it in before this was even remotely close to clearance for 200 millimeter, and they would just mount the motor and turn it over by hand and let the flywheel teeth themselves do the cutting and clearancing of the bell housing, which
It's already better.
it is.
And I
yeah.
just want to add, there's little to no resistance. It's just making a little noise.
Exactly.
We're not
yeah.
actually taking a bunch of material off.
Now what we're going to do is we'll pull out the new fuel lines and fuel pump that we mounted in the fastback, since that's not ready to drive anywhere anytime soon. Well, hopefully soon, but not at the moment. The other crusty air-cooled car in the stable. I'm real stoked to get into this thing, but we've got so much to do on the SP, so we're going to rob some parts out of it.
The fuel system.
So this thing, just like the SP Type 3, has that progressive single carburetor on it. So ultimately, we'll do away with that on this car too and do a dual carb setup when we're ready to drive it. All right, exhaust is back on, and we have ourselves, first of all, fire suppression. Safety first, since we've got just an open can of gas. But we got the battery pulled out, got the fuel pump mounted. Yeah, mechanical pump bypassed. We got carburetor wire here. Yeah. Coil into trigger power, which is also connected to the fuel pump. So when we connect this guy to the battery, we'll be giving power to the carburetor, the coil, and the fuel pump. Then we've got our main like solid lines to ground and power on the starter, and we have key power coming back off the solenoid to here as well. So ultimately we'll get this guy connected, this guy connected, and then we'll trigger her up. Yeah, first start. Super excited. We don't know the state of that carburetor.
It's pretty clean. It's dusty, but it's pretty clean in there. Just let it go for a second. Wow. You can already see it in the carb.
Yep. Oh, yep. So do we try to turn it over without connect? Oh no, we got to connect it because it's got the coil power. We've disconnected the fuel pump wire to the coil and carburetor wire harness. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually try to start it, but off of what's in the carburetor. So it won't run for long. Hopefully it'll start and actually fire on what's in there. But we'll do this preliminary. We'll know whether or not it'll go off a little bit of fuel in the carb, and then we'll reconnect that line and we'll try to start it with a feed of fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So good.
It sounds so good.
So good.
Oh man.
The flywheel's still self-clearanced a little
You
bit.
can hear it, yeah. Oh man, let's put some fuel to that thing. Hopefully the seat's still good. It doesn't just overflow. I know, look at it. Man.
That's awesome, though.
Dude, Type 3 motors for the win.
Heck yeah. Air-cooled everything.
Yeah, but like the fastback,
I know.
like ran so well for the first time. All right, so off camera, I was just like, we didn't even check the oil yet. We should probably do that before we run it more. So we don't even know if this thing has oil in it yet.
Might be bone dry. Oh no, it's got brand new oil. Brand new.
Dude, this thing was rebuilt.
Yeah, never run. Rebuilt.
A totally rebuilt motor.
Amazing.
That's literally brand new oil.
Yeah.
Guys, this thing was on Marketplace for not a lot of money.
Good deal.
Not a lot of money. Now, we've got the fuel pump wired in. The only question we're going to have now when this thing runs is whether or not this thing's going to spill over. But
I have it just
so you can pull it.
twisted together so I can pull it off and keep it running.
We'll get this boy just in case. We were trying to figure out what UPS was backing in the yard with. It's the spindles for the 64 Beetle. Back from Mike Unland, who we're getting the twin carb set up from. So the Beetle is ready to hit the streets again. Well, not yet, but we've got the parts to put it back on the streets. All right, try number 2 with fuel. Wow. Immediately.
There's something up with the bowl.
Yeah,
Well,
just keeps overflowing.
It just fills right up. But it's full again, so we can...
Yep. Yeah. It sounds so good. Yeah, I know, he's feathering the fuel pump. Yeah. Dude, that is a successful first start.
Freaking awesome.
It sounds real good too.
So good. Yeah, I forgot the back of the carburetor. That's just open air leaks. That's why it was revving high.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
just
big
put my
vacuum leak.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
put my finger over it and it idled down.
I didn't even see that. Dang, that is amazing.
Will it run? Yes, it will.
We didn't do anything.
No.
I didn't pull any plugs, didn't pull any plug wires. We pulled the cap to just look what was inside the cap.
Yeah.
We didn't change
to make
anything.
sure there was a rotor in there, and there is.
Yep.
Fired right off.
I say we put the body down and start it, and we get kind of like an idea what it's gonna look and sound like.
Yep.
We can't put the body down all the way
because
because that's in the way. But oh man, that is so sick. It's got good oil in it. Everything looked rebuilt, with the exception of like old parts getting put back on it. You know, it didn't have like brand new generator and all that put on it, but
That could be the first start for that engine since it was rebuilt.
very well could have been. The guy that I bought it from had bought it at an estate sale where a guy had passed away essentially, and this was inside on a bench with a tarp over it. So the guy, he may have been building this motor, and then the guy passes away before he even gets a chance to start the thing. Who knows? I mean, who knows? But that very well could be the deal. And it's A-okay that this thing's giving us grief anyway, because we're ditching all that as it is.
And Jimmy and Spoon talk about something that we needed, mid-build motivation. And that's what this was.
Yep, yep,
like
exactly.
Now, let's get the body on.
Yep.
Let's build a frame. Let's go.
All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for this episode. We've breathed life into the Mystery Type 3 picked up off Marketplace for this Auto Union project, and it sounds incredible for a first run, first go. So stoked on that. So as we speak, dual carb setup is on its way. We've got the factory airbox on its way. We're going to lose all this top height, so we won't have to worry about clearance issues anymore. Tomorrow, Friday, the 23rd at noon Eastern Standard Time, get to ludwicksgarage.com. The link is in the video's description below to order your BMW 700 shirt. Again, we're only making 50 of these with 50 individual custom hang tags included, and order number 7 will get a free back print BMW 700 poster. I'm super excited to share these with you guys. I hope you are as well. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for all of the continued support. We'll see you in the next episode as we continue on the 1000 SP project.